Imagine a world where the boundaries between humanity and extraterrestrial life collide in an unprecedented cosmic conflict. This is the story of how 7 American astronauts became Earth's last line of defense against an alien invasion force. Witness their harrowing journey from routine space exploration to becoming intergalactic warriors, armed only with human ingenuity and courage. Prepare to embark on an epic adventure that spans the vastness of space and the depths of human determination. Subscribe now and join the conversation. What would you do if you faced an alien army millions of miles from home? The sun had barely begun its ascent over Cape Canaveral when the crew of the USS Endeavour prepared for what was supposed to be a standard scientific mission. 7 carefully selected individuals, each representing the pinnacle of human achievement, moved through their pre-launch protocols with practiced precision. Commander Elizabeth Hayes double-checked the mission parameters while her team conducted final system diagnostics. The spacecraft stood majestically against the morning sky, its sleek titanium alloy exterior gleaming under floodlights as technicians completed their final inspections. Their destination lay beyond Mars, in the uncharted regions of the asteroid belt where recent telescopic observations had detected unusual energy signatures. NASA's scientists believed they might have discovered a new type of mineral formation, potentially revolutionizing space mining technology. The mission objectives were straightforward: collect samples, conduct experiments, and return safely within 6 months. No one could have predicted how dramatically their plans would change. As the countdown reached its final moments, the entire launch complex vibrated with anticipation. The roar of engines shattered the morning calm, propelling the spacecraft skyward in a brilliant display of controlled power. Through the windows, blue gave way to black as they pierced Earth's atmosphere, leaving behind everything familiar. The crew settled into their assigned stations, monitoring systems and running initial checks as automated systems guided them toward their first orbital insertion point. 3 months into their mission, as the Endeavour approached the designated coordinates, something extraordinary happened. The ship's sensors began detecting massive energy fluctuations emanating from a nearby asteroid cluster. What initially appeared as natural phenomenon quickly revealed itself to be something far more complex: an intricate network of artificial structures embedded within the asteroids. These weren't mere mining operations or research facilities. They formed a vast, interconnected city floating silently in space. The crew watched in awe as their instruments painted a picture of this alien metropolis. Towering spires of crystalline material refracted light in impossible ways, creating dazzling displays that danced across their monitors. Massive vessels, unlike any human craft, drifted between structures, their designs defying known principles of physics. Energy conduits pulsed with vibrant colors, connecting different sections of the complex in a pattern that suggested incredible technological sophistication. As they cautiously maneuvered closer, scanning deeper into the structures, they uncovered evidence of extensive manufacturing capabilities. Automated assembly lines produced components for ships and weapon systems at a scale that dwarfed anything humanity had achieved. Defensive arrays bristled along the perimeter, capable of projecting devastating force across vast distances. It became clear that this was not just a colony, but a military installation of staggering proportions. The realization hit them simultaneously: they had stumbled upon an alien armada preparing for war. Their presence hadn't gone unnoticed either. Suddenly, dozens of smaller craft detached from docking bays, moving with purpose toward their position. The crew hastily attempted to retreat, but it was too late. Powerful tractor beams locked onto their vessel, pulling them inexorably toward the largest structure in the complex, what appeared to be a command center. Trapped within the confines of their spacecraft, the crew faced their first direct encounter with the alien forces. Through reinforced viewports, they observed the approach of several maintenance drones, their mechanical forms radiating an otherworldly energy signature. These machines possessed multiple articulated limbs ending in various tools and weapons, their central cores pulsating with an intense blue light. Without warning, plasma cutters extended from the drone's appendages, beginning to slice through the Endeavour's outer hull plating. Commander Hayes immediately initiated emergency protocols, sealing off affected sections and rerouting power to defensive systems. The spacecraft's automated defenses came online, deploying electromagnetic countermeasures that temporarily disrupted the drone's operations. Engineering Officer Marcus Chin worked feverishly at his station, adapting the ship's scientific equipment for combat purposes. Repurposed laser spectrometers became improvised weapons, firing concentrated beams that successfully disabled 2 approaching drones. As the battle intensified, the crew discovered unexpected advantages in their situation. The aliens' advanced technology relied heavily on precise energy fields, which proved vulnerable to the erratic electromagnetic interference generated by their modified systems. Navigation specialist Sarah Mitchell programmed the ship's attitude control thrusters to create unpredictable movements, making it difficult for the drones to maintain their cutting operations. Meanwhile, Medical Officer Dr. James Rodriguez utilized the ship's medical scanner array to detect weak points in the drone's shielding. The turning point came when Chief Engineer Alexei Petrov managed to reverse engineer portions of the alien tractor beam technology. By modulating their own electromagnetic emissions, they created a feedback loop that caused several drones to malfunction spectacularly. Plasma cutters turned inward, severing critical connections in their own systems. The remaining drones retreated, disappearing back into the depths of the alien station. Though victorious in this initial engagement, the crew knew their reprieve would be temporary. Damage to the outer hull compromised several systems, and their improvised defenses wouldn't hold against a sustained assault. They needed a plan that went beyond mere survival. They needed to strike back before the aliens regrouped and launched a more formidable attack. With limited time and resources, the crew transformed their scientific vessel into an unlikely war machine. Every piece of equipment, every instrument, every spare part was scrutinized for potential military application. The cargo bay became a makeshift armory as they assembled weapons from laboratory lasers and communication arrays. Power distribution systems were reconfigured to prioritize offensive capabilities, sacrificing non-essential functions to feed energy-hungry weapon systems. Dr. Rodriguez led the effort to convert the ship's medical imaging suite into a sophisticated targeting system. By integrating MRI technology with the vessel's external sensors, they created a targeting matrix capable of detecting structural weaknesses in alien craft. Meanwhile, Marcus Chen developed a revolutionary power modulation system using principles from particle accelerator research, allowing them to channel immense amounts of energy through their improvised weapons without overloading the ship's reactors. The most significant breakthrough came from an unexpected source: the ship's waste management system. Working with environmental specialist Priya Mehta, they devised a method to compress and accelerate solid waste materials into high-velocity projectiles. These trash torpedoes proved surprisingly effective against the aliens' energy shields, creating temporary breaches that allowed their energy weapons to penetrate enemy defenses. As they finalized their modifications, the crew established a rotating watch system, ensuring constant vigilance against further attacks. Maintenance protocols were adapted to include regular calibration of their new weapon systems, while redundant backups were installed throughout the ship's critical systems. Despite the transformation of their peaceful research vessel into a combat-ready platform, they maintained their scientific integrity, documenting every modification and discovery with meticulous detail. The Endeavour emerged from these frantic preparations as a unique hybrid of scientific exploration and military innovation, ready to face whatever challenges awaited them. Yet beneath the surface modifications lay something more profound: the transformation of 7 scientists and engineers into determined warriors, united by their shared purpose to protect humanity from an unknown threat. The alien counterattack materialized without warning, emerging from the shadow of a nearby asteroid in a formation that defied conventional military tactics. Hundreds of small fighters swarmed toward the Endeavour, their movements synchronized in complex patterns that suggested hive-mind coordination. Larger capital ships followed at a distance, their massive hulls bristling with weapons emplacements that glowed ominously in the darkness of space. The sheer scale of the approaching fleet overwhelmed even the most optimistic assessments of their chances. As the first wave of fighters entered range, the crew unleashed their newly developed arsenal. Modified scientific instruments fired concentrated bursts of energy, carving through enemy formations with surprising effectiveness. The trash torpedoes proved particularly devastating, their unpredictable trajectories penetrating the aliens' defensive screens and causing chain reactions among tightly packed fighter squadrons. For several tense minutes, it seemed their preparations might actually turn the tide of battle. However, the aliens quickly adapted, adjusting their tactics to compensate for the humans' unconventional weapons. Their fighters began executing complex evasive maneuvers while maintaining coordinated attack patterns, forcing the crew to constantly recalibrate their targeting systems. The larger capital ships opened fire with weapons that created rippling distortions in space-time, threatening to tear apart the very fabric of reality around them. Structural integrity alarms blared throughout the ship as gravitational stresses pushed the Endeavour's frame to its limits. The situation grew increasingly desperate as multiple enemy vessels positioned themselves to execute flanking maneuvers. Power reserves dwindled rapidly under the strain of continuous weapon discharges and defensive countermeasures. Several key systems failed simultaneously. Life support flickered, weapon turrets jammed, and sensor arrays provided intermittent data about the evolving battlefield. Yet even in the face of overwhelming odds, the crew refused to surrender, drawing strength from their shared determination to protect their home planet. In the heat of battle, Commander Hayes made a decision that would alter the course of the conflict. Drawing upon their earlier research into alien technology, she ordered all available power redirected to experimental systems. The ship's computer core, originally designed for astrophysical calculations, transformed into a massive signal processor. Using principles derived from their study of alien communication frequencies, they initiated a bold countermeasure, broadcasting a precisely modulated electromagnetic pulse across the entire battlefield. The effect was immediate and dramatic. Alien vessels faltered mid-flight as their sophisticated systems struggled to process the unexpected interference. Fighters broke formation, colliding with each other in chaotic patterns. Even the massive capital ships experienced momentary system failures, their weapons fire ceasing as internal networks rebooted. Seizing this opportunity, Marcuston activated a secondary protocol he'd been developing in secret, a virus-like program designed to infiltrate alien control systems. Through careful observation of captured drone behavior, they had identified specific frequency ranges that seemed to serve as command signals. By replicating and modifying these signals, they created a digital weapon that spread through the alien network like wildfire. Affected ships began displaying erratic behavior, some self-destructed. Others turned on their former allies, and many simply shut down completely. The battlefield transformed from organized warfare to complete chaos as the alien fleet fought against both the human attackers and their own corrupted systems. This technological triumph came at a cost. The immense power required to maintain the electromagnetic barrage drained their reserves dangerously low. Life support systems operated at minimal capacity, and backup generators struggled to keep essential functions running. Yet the crew pressed on, knowing this might be their only chance to gain the upper hand. As alien vessels continued to fall victim to their digital assault, hope began to replace despair in the hearts of the human defenders. As the alien fleet struggled against the digital onslaught, the humans capitalized on their advantage with surgical precision. Commander Hayes directed their remaining functional weapon systems and carefully coordinated strikes against key targets. The converted medical scanners identified critical nodes in the alien command structure, command vessels whose destruction would create cascading failures throughout the fleet. With calculated efficiency, they targeted these strategic points, watching as entire squadrons of enemy craft lost cohesion and drifted aimlessly in space. Engineering Officer Marcus Chin devised an ingenious method to amplify their electromagnetic pulses using reflected energy from damaged alien vessels. By positioning the Endeavour in specific locations relative to destroyed ships, they created natural amplifiers that boosted the range and intensity of their electronic warfare capabilities. This technique allowed them to extend their influence across a much larger area of the battlefield, effectively doubling the reach of their digital weapons. The crew implemented a rotation system to maximize their combat effectiveness while managing their dwindling resources. Teams worked in shifts to repair damaged systems and maintain weapon functionality, while others monitored the deteriorating condition of the ship itself. Environmental specialist Priya Mehta developed innovative methods to recycle waste heat from weapon discharges back into the power grid, buying them precious additional minutes of operational capability. Despite their tactical successes, the physical toll on both crew and spacecraft became increasingly apparent. Fatigue lined the faces of the astronauts as they fought to maintain focus during extended combat operations. Bulkheads groaned under the stress of repeated impacts, and emergency lighting illuminated corridors where primary systems had failed. Yet through it all, the humans demonstrated remarkable resilience, adapting their strategies faster than their alien adversaries could respond. The battle reached its climax as the final waves of alien reinforcements arrived, only to find themselves immediately compromised by the spreading digital infection. Ship after ship succumbed to the combined effects of electromagnetic disruption and viral infiltration, their once proud formations dissolving into chaos. The humans, having mastered the art of turning their enemies' strengths against them, watched as the tide of battle shifted decisively in their favor. Victory came at a terrible price. The Endeavour limped away from the devastated alien fleet, its once pristine hull pockmarked with damage from countless engagements. Emergency bulkheads sealed off sections of the ship that had suffered catastrophic failures, while jury-rigged systems kept essential functions operating at minimal levels. The crew moved through dimly lit corridors, their exhausted bodies supported more by adrenaline than strength. Medical supplies dwindled as they treated injuries sustained during the prolonged conflict. Commander Hayes convened an emergency meeting in the ship's main compartment, where the gravity of their situation became painfully clear. Fuel reserves measured in hours rather than days, and the ship's primary reactor showed signs of imminent failure. Communication systems remained offline despite repeated attempts at repair, leaving them isolated in the vastness of space. Food stores had been contaminated during one of the earlier attacks, forcing them to rely on emergency rations intended for short-term survival scenarios. Yet amidst the devastation, the crew found inspiration in their achievements. The successful defense against overwhelming odds demonstrated humanity's capacity for innovation under pressure. Detailed records of their encounters with alien technology, painstakingly documented throughout the conflict, represented invaluable knowledge that could transform Earth's understanding of the universe. Even in their battered state, the Endeavour carried within its damaged systems the secrets of an advanced civilization, secrets that could propel human development forward centuries. The psychological impact of their experiences manifested differently in each crew member. Some found solace in the ship's remaining scientific instruments, losing themselves in analysis of collected data. Others focused intently on repair work, channeling their trauma into practical tasks that helped maintain their fragile existence. Commander Hayes encouraged these coping mechanisms while maintaining a vigilant watch over her team's mental health, recognizing that their survival depended as much on psychological resilience as physical endurance. As they assessed their options for returning home, the crew realized their victory had transformed them fundamentally. They were no longer merely explorers or scientists, but veterans of an interstellar conflict, carrying with them both the scars of battle and the responsibility of their newfound knowledge. This realization forged an unbreakable bond between them, stronger than any metal in their ship's construction. The journey home became a race against time as system failures multiplied exponentially. Chief Engineer Petrov implemented creative solutions to keep critical systems functioning, often working from inside access tunnels that barely accommodated his frame. He cannibalized non-essential components to repair vital systems, sometimes having to make impossible choices between life support and propulsion. Environmental specialist Meta optimized air recycling processes to maximum efficiency, stretching their breathable atmosphere to its absolute limit while carefully monitoring carbon dioxide levels. Navigation posed its own set of challenges. Without accurate star charts and with damaged sensor arrays providing inconsistent data, plotting a course back to Earth required innovative thinking. Specialist Mitchell developed a novel navigation technique using residual radiation patterns from nearby stars, cross-referencing these readings with historical astronomical data stored in the ship's archives. This primitive yet effective method allowed them to establish a rough heading, though the margin of error increased with each passing day. Power management became an art form under Marcus Chin's direction. He created a dynamic allocation system that prioritized systems based on immediate survival needs while maintaining enough reserve capacity to prevent catastrophic failures. Lighting cycled through carefully planned intervals to conserve energy, and temperature controls operated in narrow bands that tested human endurance. The crew adapted to these conditions through strict discipline, timing their activities to coincide with periods of higher power availability. Medical concerns mounted as supplies ran critically low. Dr. Rodriguez implemented alternative treatment protocols using materials scavenged from engineering stocks and food preparation areas. Sterilization techniques developed for laboratory experiments became crucial for preventing infections, while pain management relied on psychological techniques rather than pharmaceuticals. The doctor maintained detailed records of each crew member's condition, calculating projected health outcomes based on available resources and deteriorating environmental factors. Communication attempts continued despite the damage to their systems. The crew rotated through shifts trying to establish contact with Earth, using modified emergency beacons and experimental frequency modulation techniques. Each failed attempt weighed heavily on their spirits, but the possibility of rescue kept them focused on survival. They developed contingency plans for every conceivable scenario, from drifting indefinitely through space to encountering additional alien forces before reaching home. Earth's response to the crew's desperate signals arrived unexpectedly, manifesting as a brilliant flash of light that momentarily blinded the ship's external cameras. Emerging from quantum space, a realm of theoretical physics previously considered purely academic, appeared a fleet of human vessels unlike anything in existing records. These ships bore unmistakable signs of incorporating alien technology, suggesting that humanity had already begun adapting knowledge gained from previous encounters with extraterrestrial civilizations. Sleek hulls shimmered with adaptive camouflage systems, while visible weapon emplacements hinted at firepower far exceeding anything the Endeavour had employed during its battles. The rescue fleet's arrival triggered automated recovery protocols that had evolved significantly since the Endeavour's departure. Towing vessels equipped with advanced tractor beam technology gently secured the damaged spacecraft, while medical teams prepared for immediate evacuation. The contrast between old and new human technology proved stark. Where the Endeavour relied on mechanical airlocks and manual override systems, the rescue ships featured seamless integration of organic and synthetic components, suggesting a fusion of biological and technological advancement. Specialized repair drones swarmed over the Endeavour's hull, conducting comprehensive scans and beginning emergency repairs even before boarding parties established contact. These autonomous units operated with remarkable efficiency, demonstrating sophisticated AI capabilities that far exceeded the Endeavour's basic automation systems. The rescue fleet's command vessel transmitted detailed instructions using encrypted quantum communication channels, revealing advancements in information transfer that made traditional radio transmissions seem archaic by comparison. Most striking was the evident shift in human military doctrine. The rescue fleet's configuration suggested a society that had embraced space warfare as a fundamental aspect of its defense strategy. Escort vessels maintained precise formations optimized for maximum defensive coverage, while specialized units carried payloads clearly designed for engaging large-scale alien threats. Weapon systems incorporated elements of the alien technology the Endeavour's crew had encountered, but refined and enhanced through human innovation. The implications of these developments weighed heavily on the rescued crew. Their absence had apparently coincided with a technological revolution on Earth, driven perhaps by intelligence gathered from other alien encounters or accelerated by global cooperation in response to the existential threat they had faced. The sight of humanity's newfound capabilities filled them with pride, but also underscored how drastically the world had changed during their mission. The reunion between the Endeavour's crew and their rescuers unfolded in a carefully orchestrated sequence designed to minimize risk while maximizing information exchange. Medical teams wearing advanced environmental suits boarded first, establishing quarantine protocols to prevent potential contamination from alien pathogens. These specialists carried diagnostic equipment that seemed almost magical in its capabilities, instantly analyzing the crew's physiological condition through non-invasive means while simultaneously collecting data on trace elements and microorganisms present in their environment. Debriefing procedures took place aboard the command vessel, where holographic interfaces displayed real-time translations of the crew's verbal reports alongside visual reconstructions of their encounters. Artificial intelligence systems analyzed their accounts, cross-referencing details with classified intelligence databases to build a comprehensive picture of the alien threat. The survivors marveled at how seamlessly human consciousness could now interface with machine intelligence, experiencing their own memories being reconstructed in three-dimensional space with perfect fidelity. Security personnel handled physical evidence with utmost care, employing containment fields that suspended damaged alien artifacts in stasis, while automated probes conducted microscopic analysis. The crew watched as fragments of captured technology were dissected by swarms of nanobots, their intricate structures revealed in stunning detail through augmented reality displays. Each piece of recovered alien equipment triggered cascading updates in Earth's defensive databases, suggesting that humanity had developed sophisticated predictive algorithms for countering extraterrestrial threats. Psychological evaluation teams employed revolutionary neural mapping techniques to assess the crew's mental state, identifying trauma patterns and implementing immediate therapeutic interventions through subtle electromagnetic stimulation. These procedures occurred without conscious awareness, yet the effects manifested as profound relief from accumulated stress and anxiety. The rescued astronauts found themselves processing their experiences with unprecedented clarity, their minds gradually adjusting to the reality of their safe return while retaining crucial memories for future analysis. Logistical support teams worked tirelessly to preserve the Endeavour itself as a historical artifact while extracting every possible byte of data from its surviving systems. Quantum storage devices absorbed decades' worth of sensor readings, experiment results, and combat telemetry in mere seconds, while preservation drones stabilized delicate components for future study. The entire process exemplified humanity's newfound mastery of crisis management and information gathering, executed with a precision that bordered on artistic perfection. Reintegration into Earth society proved both challenging and illuminating for the returning crew. Their initial quarantine period, conducted in orbit rather than on Earth's surface, revealed the extent of humanity's technological evolution during their absence. Transparent walls of their observation module displayed views of Earth that seemed almost surreal. Cities covered in vertical forests, oceans cleaned of plastic pollution, and atmospheric processors visible as faint silver threads across continents. The planet had undergone a transformation so profound that it felt like returning to an alternate version of their home world. Their official debriefings took place in underground facilities where researchers had developed advanced cognitive mapping technologies. Instead of traditional interviews, their memories were extracted and reconstructed in virtual environments, allowing analysts to experience events from multiple perspectives simultaneously. This process uncovered details they hadn't consciously remembered, revealing subconscious observations about alien technology and behavior patterns that proved invaluable for Earth's defense strategists. The crew found themselves reliving their experiences with enhanced clarity, their minds filling in gaps they hadn't realized existed. Public reaction to their story created unprecedented global unity. News of their victory against overwhelming odds inspired humanity to embrace its role as an interstellar species. Educational institutions worldwide incorporated their experiences into curricula, while entertainment media produced immersive virtual reality experiences based on their encounters. The crew members became symbols of human resilience, their faces appearing on everything from government buildings to consumer products, yet they handled their newfound celebrity with characteristic humility. Scientific communities experienced a renaissance as data from the mission catalyzed breakthroughs across multiple disciplines. Theoretical physics advanced by decades as researchers studied the alien technology samples, leading to practical applications in energy generation, material science, and quantum computing. Medical science benefited from the crew's exposure to alien environments, yielding insights into human adaptability that improved treatments for various terrestrial conditions. Even social sciences evolved, with anthropologists studying the crew's group dynamics under extreme stress to develop better models for human collaboration in space. The most significant impact manifested in humanity's approach to space exploration and defense. Nations abandoned territorial disputes in favor of unified space initiatives, establishing permanent colonies on the Moon and Mars while constructing orbital defense platforms. Military organizations integrated civilian expertise more thoroughly than ever before, creating hybrid forces capable of responding to extraterrestrial threats with unprecedented efficiency. The crew's experience served as a template for training future generations of spacefarers, emphasizing the importance of adaptability, innovation, and teamwork in the face of unknown dangers. During their recovery period, the crew discovered an unexpected consequence of their prolonged exposure to alien technology. Their brains had developed enhanced pattern recognition capabilities. Routine medical examinations revealed neurological changes that allowed them to perceive complex mathematical relationships in everyday phenomena, from the fractal patterns in cloud formations to the harmonic resonances in urban architecture. This newfound ability manifested most strongly when they interacted with advanced technology, enabling them to intuitively understand and manipulate systems they had never formally studied. Commander Hayes found herself able to predict mechanical failures in equipment just by observing subtle vibration patterns, while Dr. Rodriguez developed an uncanny talent for diagnosing technical issues through sound alone. Engineering Officer Chin's brainwave patterns indicated heightened spatial reasoning abilities, allowing him to visualize four-dimensional problems in real time. Environmental Specialist Meta demonstrated remarkable skill in optimizing complex systems, achieving efficiencies that baffled even the most sophisticated AI assistants. These changes raised questions about the nature of consciousness and the potential for human-alien technological symbiosis. Researchers theorized that the crew's close encounters with alien systems had somehow imprinted their neural pathways with new processing capabilities, similar to how certain animals adapt to environmental stimuli. The phenomenon suggested that human cognition might be more plastic than previously understood, capable of evolving rapidly in response to extraordinary circumstances. Military scientists viewed these developments with particular interest, seeing potential applications in cyber warfare and advanced piloting. The crew's enhanced abilities could be replicated through targeted neural stimulation, potentially creating a new class of operators capable of interfacing directly with next-generation systems. Ethical considerations complicated these possibilities, as the long-term effects of such enhancements remained unknown. Nevertheless, the crew's transformation offered tantalizing glimpses into humanity's evolutionary potential when exposed to sufficiently advanced stimuli. 6 months after their return, during a routine physical examination, Dr. Rodriguez noticed an unusual anomaly in the crew's genetic markers. Standard medical tests revealed that their DNA had undergone subtle modifications, incorporating sequences that matched patterns observed in alien biological samples recovered from damaged vessels. These changes weren't random mutations but appeared to be deliberate adaptations, suggesting that their prolonged exposure to alien technology had triggered latent evolutionary mechanisms within their cells. Further investigation uncovered that these genetic modifications conferred unexpected benefits. Enhanced cellular repair mechanisms accelerated healing processes, while modified mitochondrial structures improved energy utilization efficiency. Most remarkably, their immune systems had developed unprecedented resistance to various diseases, including several that had previously resisted medical treatment. The changes seemed to represent a form of directed evolution, as if their bodies had learned from alien biology and incorporated useful traits. This discovery sparked heated debate within scientific communities. Evolutionary biologists argued that humanity might possess inherent mechanisms for rapid adaptation when exposed to sufficiently advanced stimuli, challenging established theories about gradual genetic change. Medical researchers saw opportunities for developing new treatments based on these findings, while bioethicists raised concerns about the implications of technological intervention in human evolution. The crew themselves grappled with their transformed nature, wondering whether they still represented purely human characteristics or had become something new entirely. The phenomenon extended beyond physical changes. Cognitive testing revealed expanded neural networks and increased synaptic density, correlating with their enhanced problem-solving abilities. Emotional responses showed greater nuance and depth, suggesting that their experiences had literally rewritten aspects of their fundamental biology. These revelations forced humanity to reconsider its definition of what it meant to be human, opening philosophical discussions about the intersection of biological heritage and technological advancement. The legacy of the Endeavour's crew continues to shape humanity's destiny among the stars. Their experiences catalyzed unprecedented global cooperation, leading to the establishment of Earth's first unified space defense initiative. Training programs now incorporate elements of their improvisational tactics, teaching future generations to think creatively when facing unknown threats. The crew's journals and mission logs serve as foundational texts for interstellar diplomacy courses, emphasizing the importance of cultural understanding even in hostile encounters. Technological advancements inspired by their mission have revolutionized multiple industries. Aerospace engineering incorporates principles learned from alien vessel design, while medical science benefits from biological insights gained during their ordeal. The crew's accidental enhancement of human capabilities has opened new frontiers in neuroscience and genetic research, raising ethical questions that challenge our understanding of human potential. Their story demonstrates that growth often emerges from adversity and that humanity's greatest strength lies in its ability to adapt and overcome. Today, monuments dedicated to their bravery stand on every continent, reminding future generations of the sacrifices made to secure humanity's place among the stars. Spacecraft launch from Earth bearing their names, carrying explorers who walk paths paved by their courage. The Endeavour itself resides in a geosynchronous museum, its scarred hull testament to the thin line between extinction and evolution. As we look to the stars, we carry with us the lessons of those who face the unknown and return transformed, forever changing what it means to be human in an infinite universe. Remember to subscribe for more incredible stories about humanity's journey to the stars. Where will our next great adventure take us?